Christ Instructing Peter and John to Prepare for the Passover by Vincenzo Civerchio, in 1504. The painting is a tempera on panel, which means it was made with pigments mixed with egg yolk and applied to a wooden board. Tempera paintings are durable and can withstand light and moisture. They are also easy to repair if damaged. Passover is a Jewish holiday that commemorates the exodus of the Jews from Egypt and is marked chiefly by the Seder ritual and the eating of matzot. The name Passover comes from the Hebrew word Pesach, which means to pass over or to skip. This refers to the way God spared the Israelites from the plague of death that killed the firstborn sons of Egypt, by instructing them to smear lamb's blood on their doorposts. Passover lasts for 7 or 8 days, depending on where you live, and begins on the 15th day of Nisan, the first month of the Jewish calendar. During Passover, Jews avoid eating or owning anything that contains grain that has risen or fermented, such as bread, pasta, beer, and liquor. They also eat matzah, a flat bread made without yeast or leavening, as a symbol of their haste to leave Egypt. On the first night of Passover, Jews have a special service called a Seder, where they retell the story of Exodus from a book called the Haggadah. They also eat 4 cups of wine and symbolic foods that represent different aspects of their journey out of slavery. Passover is one of the most important festivals in Judaism and celebrates freedom, faith, and hope. The painting depicts Christ instructing Peter and John to prepare for the Passover, which was a Jewish festival that commemorated the liberation of the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. The Passover meal consisted of unleavened bread, matzah, and lamb or other animal roasted over a fire. The lamb's blood was applied to the doorposts of the houses to protect them from the angel of death that passed over them during the night. The painting shows Christ standing in front of a table with a loaf of bread, a cup of wine, and a knife. He is holding his right hand up in blessing, while his left hand is pointing at the table. He is wearing a white robe and has long brown hair. His face is calm and serene, expressing his authority and compassion. Peter and John are kneeling on either side of Christ, looking at him attentively. They are wearing simple tunics and cloaks, indicating their humble status as fishermen. They have short hair and beards, typical of men in Renaissance Italy. They are holding their hands together in prayer or reverence. The background shows a landscape with hills, trees, and buildings. The sky is blue with white clouds. The scene suggests that Christ is teaching Peter and John in a natural setting, away from the city or monastery where they might have been living or working. The painting is influenced by the style of Bramantino, 1480 to 1549, an Italian painter who was known for his realistic portraits, dramatic compositions, and expressive gestures. Bramantino was one of Civerchio's main sources of inspiration when he painted this work around 1504. Civerchio admired Bramantino's skill in capturing light, shadow, color, texture, movement, emotion, and perspective. The painting also reflects Civerchio's own artistic vision as a Lombard painter who lived in Florence during the early Renaissance. Civerchio was influenced by both Italian and German traditions of painting. He experimented with different techniques such as chiaroscuro, contrast between light and dark, sfumato, gradual blending of colors, foreshortening, distortion of space, aerial perspective, illusion of depth created by vanishing points, drapery, flowing fabric, composition, arrangement of elements, symbolism, hidden meaning behind objects or figures. Allegory, representation of abstract ideas, genre, depiction of everyday life, history, portrayal of events or characters from past times, mythology, adaptation or invention of stories from ancient cultures. Religion, expression or interpretation of faith or spirituality. The painting is part of the Samuel H. Kress collection at the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. It was acquired by the museum in 1961 as part of its gift program.